Hello, first graders. Welcome to a new social study lesson. Please get your our community and beyond book and let's start. We're gonna be starting with page 44. For this lesson, lesson 4, we're talking about sharing stories. We talked about tall tales and we talked about exaggerate. We also will learn about fable. Remember, last lesson we talked about Paul, the lumberjack, the one we had lots of exaggerating details about his story, that he was more than 50 feet tall. He's so strong that he could cut down 100 trees with one swing. He also have a friend, a loyal friend named Babe, and Babe was a blue ox. We also learned that ox was as big as a mountain, and we learn more details about that. One summer, Paul decided to, because Paul and Babe cleared their entire forest, so Paul decided to reward Babe. So he dug a deep, big deep holes. Then it became the Great Lakes. So that was part of the stories. And we say that some stories are real and some stories are not. Today we're talking about fables. So let's read together page 44 and learn something new. Have you ever read a fable? A fable is a story that teaches a lesson. Fables often use animals or other things that talk and act like people. As you read this fable, think about who or what talks and acts like a person. So fables are different. It's usually talk and teach you a lesson, and learning the lesson, they might use animals or other things talking and acting as human, as animals, so we can learn a lesson. For this story, we need to pay attention who talks and acts like person. The wind and the sun. One day, the wind and the sun were fighting over who was stronger. I can pull out trees by their roots and make homes shake with fear, said wind. I light up the world, said sun. So as you see, the wind and the sun have an argument or fight. And of course, in this story, they act like humans. So we will be hearing that the wind said and the sun said and the wind said and the sun said, like when people talk. So first part, the wind and the sun, they decided who was fighting over who was stronger. So the wind said, I can pull out the trees by the roots and make homes shake with fear. But the sun said, I light up the world. And with the picture here, we can see this is the sun and this is the wind. All right, turn the page. Just then they saw a man walking down a long road. Do you see this man? And we see in the forest all these creatures and animals. All right. Sun had a thought. Let's see who can make the man take off his coat. So as you see the man wearing his coat, and we in the previous page know and learned that the wind and the sun were fighting who was stronger. So the sun came up with an idea. All right, you see this man walking, let's see who can make this man take off his coat. You can go first. Then sun hid behind a cloud. So the sun hid behind the cloud and told the wind, you can go first. All right, in this page, what two things are acting like people? Very good. Sun and the wind. So the sun and the wind. So as we hear the story, the sun and the wind act like people. They were fighting and they want to show, they come with ideas and thoughts and they want to see who's stronger. All right. Let's go for that next page. So the sun told the wind, you go first. Remember the thought or the ideas that who will let that man take off his coat? You think the wind or the sun? All right. The wind blew strong gusts of air, shaking all the trees in the forest. But this did not stop the man. He frowned at the wind and kept walking. Then wind blew heavier and stronger gusts of air. The man found it very hard to walk, but he held on tight to his coat. After a long while, wind gave up. So remember that the idea of the sun, who will make this man take off his coat? And the sun hid behind the clouds and told the winds, you go first. So the wind blew first a strong gust of air. It shook all the trees, but the man still held on his jacket. And then a wind tried again and blew heavier and stronger gusts of air. But the man still didn't let his coat go, or he did not lose his coat, and he held on tight to his coat. So the wind gave up. Means like, all right, I try my best. I can't do more than that. Now, whose turn? The sun. All right. So then it was the sun's turn. Sun began to shine her rays of light through the forest. Warm rays of light shine through the trees. The animals ran out of their shelters and were happy again. Remember, when the wind was blowing, look at the animals. Everyone was hiding. It was very windy and animals were not happy. But when was the sun turn and the sun shine, so as you see, animals went back and enjoyed their day. So the animals ran out of their shelters and were happy again. The man started to whistle as he walked. Then he took off his coat. All right. So you think who won? It was the sun. But what is the moral or the lesson of the story? Write your answer here. Moral means what did you learn? What was the message or the lesson behind this story? All right. That you see what the wind did. The wind was strong, was hard and harsh, blew really hard, and the man was not happy. But the sun was soft, was gentle, was kind, and because of that beautiful rain and the sunshine, all the animals were happy. They went to play, and the man started to enjoy his walking, whistled, and he took off his coat. So that means kindness is better than harshness. Yes, the sun was soft, was gentle, was kind, but as you see the wind, look, even the way the picture, the wind was really trying hard to blow and make the man lose his coat. So let's write down the moral or the message or the lesson behind this story, that kindness is better than harshness. Very good. I'll wait for a few seconds, give you a chance to write this. But again, if you need, you can just always pause and go back to your video and write this part. So please put this. Right, let's read the reading part over there. Reading skill. Clarify words and phrases. Circle the clues that help you understand the phrase rays of light. Then write what you think it means below. All right, so rays of light. To shine her rays of light through the forest. So you're gonna circle this part. And then what you think it means below. warm rays of light. So it's warm rays of light. We can write it here. All right, I need to get this one here. So warm rays of light shine through, oops, through the trees. So this is from reading skills. Okay, let me clear this so we can go up there. All right, over here, let's see. Let's ask a few questions about fable. So what's fable again? It's a story that teaches us lesson. Very good. And why you think the sun and the wind were fighting? They were fighting over who was stronger. Very good. Who went first when the sun came up with the ideas? Very good. The wind went first, and then the sun hid behind the clouds. So the sun did what first? I'm sorry, the wind. The wind blew heavier and stronger gusts of air. But did it help? No, the man did not take off his coat. And then it was the sun's turn. Was the sun harsh like the wind? No, the sun was kind and soft. The sun began to shine her rays of light through the forest. So the warm rays went through the trees and the animals were happy, and the man started to whistle, and he took off his coat and he started to enjoy his day. And we learned that the moral of, or the lesson for this story, or the message we understand and we receive, that kindness is better than harshness. All right, over here, underline what happened to the man when wind had his turn. Remember, the wind went first. So what happened? The man, very good, frowned at the wind and kept walking. And then what happened? When the wind blew even heavier, he did not take off his coat. And a matter of fact, he held on his coat. Very good. So this was a fable, and we learned that fable is a story that teaches a lesson, and usually uses animals or other things, talk and act like people. So when we heard the story, we know that the two characters, or the two things that were acting like people in this story, was the sun and the wind. Both act like people. And we can tell this when they say they both were talking or fighting or trying their best to win, as people do this sometimes. Okay, so the two things are acting like people, the sun and the wind. All right, so we'll stop till here, page 47. And that would be our lesson for today, first graders. Thank you. Bye-bye.